Greetings everyone, Rogue Contractor here. I wanted to do a review on a supplement that I'd gotten. I'd mentioned in a previous video about when I started this whole carnivore diet, and I was thinking I probably won't be getting all the benefits of the carnivore diet because I don't eat all of those kinds of meats, and they really stress eating like innards, gizzards, livers, and intestines and stuff like that, which they realize too. A lot of people that are promoting this, like Dr. Saldana, and there was another doctor I had found on YouTube. Mentioned him in one of my last videos, but I'll mention those again. I'll find those doctors again, and I'll also put them in the description below. But livers, gizzards, innards, stomach, intestines, I'm not going to eat those, but you can get supplements on them. So this one is grass-fed beef liver. And I thought, I heard about this. I actually heard about it on Joe Rogan while he was talking to Dr. Saldana, and how you can get all the benefits of these innards without actually having to eat those livers and heart and all that good stuff. And because I don't have the stomach for that. And really kind of starting to even question the whole carnivore-ish diet if I'm not actually going to be 100% carnivore. I'm trying to be as much carnivore as I can. There's obviously a lot of carbs in some of the stuff that I eat. Not a lot, but there's carbs in the stuff that I eat because, I might go into the DFAC or the galley over here, and there may be only fried chicken, that there's going to be batter on there. Well, quite a bit of carbs in that batter, Today, as a matter of fact, I did eat all meat all day long, but for lunch, I had veal. And the veal, as most veals come, small patty, fried, battered, so I got some carbs there. The thing is that the meats that I'm eating and the rest of it, I figured if there's a piece of battered meat in there, battered chicken, battered veal, whatever, then it's okay. Obviously, also the tuna salad or the chicken salads that I eat, and they're mixed with some, mayonnaise, pickles, stuff like that, onions, and obviously I'm getting a little bit of carb there, a little bit of sugar too. But if you was to actually like take a portion of what I eat, like say the tuna salad, and just pull that mayonnaise out, and just pull the pickles out, and just pull that out, and then just pull the sugars out of those and put them aside, it would be a very small amount, and then an even smaller amount of sugars. So the amount of carbs and sugars that I'm getting off of there, not much. And so it's mostly protein. It's like I'm on a strictly protein diet. And anyway, I wanted to try this supplement, and I was thinking about doing a whole thing where I went on this sort of I guess like I would try this out for 30 days and I would give you the results of it. The only thing is there's a problem with this, is I can't take these. It says you need to take 6 per day. I started off taking 2 times a day, and then 3 times a day, and then I went up to 2 times a day, and then 3 times a day. And these pills just make me feel extremely bloated. Bloated. I mean bad. For the past 3 days, I've been doing 2 pills 3 times a day. And in the morning, I come in the morning, I just start my day off with a calorie deficit. So I have my supplements, I have my coffee, I have my oatmeal, I do my exercises. So I'm only getting 180 to 190 calories. I'm not even hitting 200 calories in the mornings. And then I go do my workouts. And I'm definitely burning 500 plus calories. I'm knocking off 300 plus calories just in cardio alone. And then at least another 200 in the weight exercises that I do, plus I do calisthenics, and I did that today. And some of my runs that I do during the mornings are a little bit longer than the runs that I do on average. On average, it's 10 to 15 minutes because I'm really trying to tone that down because that just burns way too many calories. And I still did do a 30-minute run the other day. I'm addicted to it. I got to go out and get my run. So But what I have been doing is a 10 to 15 minute run prior to my workout, doing my calisthenics, doing my weights, and then doing a 10, at minimum 10-minute run. Well, I'll say a maximum 10-minute run. I just start from one end instead of doing a full loop. It's about like a half big loop. So start at my camp, because we're on a camp, but we're on a camp within a camp. So I go out my gate and then run around the out exterior camp and basically do a half moon shape and then come back here and meet myself here. So I'm hitting like right around 11 or 12 minutes tops, you know. Depends on the route that I take. I think today I took I cut it off short. There was a little bit of construction going on, so I just came in, like after running on the outside, took a road that brought me in further into like the middle of the camp and then cut across, and that cut it down a little bit. So I still got about 9 or 10 minute run. And I want to keep it around that, even though, you know, it seems like if I do a full 30-minute run and then come in here and weigh myself, you know, I might lose a half a pound to a pound. But if for some reason when I do run and then I do my exercises and I do my weights and then I do another, follow that up with a 10-minute run, I will come in and I'll burn off like almost 2 pounds. And that's something that I wanted to talk about too, was like starting off the day with a calorie deficit, doing the exercises. And this is what a lot of people don't realize. Like when I was overweight, when I was really overweight, and I would do my runs and my exercises and burn calories throughout the morning, start off in a deficit, burn calories throughout the rest of the day. And I would lose 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds. You know, I've lost as much as 5 pounds a day. That's all water weight, you know, depending on how much I ran, because there's been days, and this is in the little bit further back, like more than a month or two ago, and I was still doing the 1 hour run, plus doing full calisthenics, plus doing a full exercise. You know, I was out there for like 3 hours, knocking out I'm still hitting hour and a half to 2 hours. I've toned that down quite a bit, but today was about a 2-hour workout for the morning, which is what I like, because I like to start my day off like that, really hard, really strong. But I don't want to burn too many calories either. And the thing was, is that there was days where like, yeah, I literally burned like over 3 pounds of weight. Not all that weight comes back. And I always said like, well, you know, you burn it off, it's all water weight, you lose it in sweat, you know, but then go out throughout the day, you'll eat and you'll, you know, drink your fluids and you'll put that weight back on. And I never actually put, if I'm in that kind of a zone and I'm doing those kinds of workouts and I'm knocking off a, you know, 2 to 3 pounds average per day, I'm only going to gain back a pound or 2, and I'll be short a pound or 2. So like say basically if I was say 180 the day before and I did that full work and I lost 3 pounds, I will come in the next day and I'll weigh 178.5 to 179. I won't get it all back, and then I'll do same thing the next day, same thing the next day, and that's basically like you're losing a pound a day. I need to watch how I sit up, because I go out of the camera. I've noticed now I got this stand and it's kind of sitting closer to me. So, but what I wanted to say was that I know a way that I can do this, that I can, you know, go out and I can do extended cardio and I can do extended calisthenics and I can do extended weight workouts followed up with more cardio, like a run at the end of my workout, and then come back in and I'll knock off 3 pounds of water weight, but I won't get it all back. And you think about that, like at the end of the week, and I work out daily, I've lost 7 pounds, you know. And even if you say, well, you're eating, you fluctuate, like how many pounds you say you really lost, you know, well, you know, yeah, I can guarantee you that at the end of the week I will lose 5 pounds. And if I average 5 pounds per week, 10 pounds in 2 weeks, you know, if I'm 180, 2 weeks later I'm weighing 170, you know, that is a lot of weight to lose real fast. So I'm really careful about all that. And that's why I want to find a way to, like this protein diet, I believe that I could still get the full calories that I need without putting any of the excess calories that I don't need onto body fat. And I'd really like to burn off that last layer of body fat around my belly. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's what I've been trying to really kind of experiment with, doing this whole carnivore diet, or carnivore-ish diet, because, and I say carnivore-ish because I never know when I'm going to break it. I go into the galley last night and they're serving Indian food, which is one of my favorite foods, probably my favorite food nowadays. Like the curry chicken, I love it. I love all Indian food. Never was a fan of it just a few years ago, just a couple of years ago. I don't know what changed. All of a sudden, I was working. I remember in Kuwait, and they were serving some curry, and I just kind of had a hankering for it. I've eaten it from time to time, and had some, and then that's like a weekly thing that they do. They always do, they have like Taco Tuesday, steak night on Saturday nights, and Sunday nights is our Indian, and we don't always get, Indian food on Sunday nights. We don't always get a variety of Indian food. Some nights is better than others. And last Sunday, which was last night, actually was really good. So, had I can't even remember the name, masala, which is like chickpeas and curry, which is super delicious. They haven't had buttered chicken in a while, which is my favorite Indian dish. But besides that, you get a lot of beans, you get a lot of peas, you get a lot of mashed potatoes. So I end up putting up on a lot of carbs. When I go in on a night like that, and I'm gonna, I see that type of dinner in there, and I kind of forget about the carnivore diet for that night, and I go ahead and eat, and I'll load up on some carbs. Anyway, focus of tonight's discussion is grass-fed liver supplements and what they did to me. I was planning on doing a whole thing where I did it for 30 days. I wanted to do it for a few days, just kind of fill it out and see how I felt. I worked my way up, started off with like 1 or 2 per day, worked my way up to the 6 that is what is suggested on the bottle. Suggested use of 6 capsules daily, 2 every 3 or 4 hours. And I could only get into day 3. I felt so bloated. I would take them in the mornings, and we'll go do my exercises. I would come back. I wouldn't feel too bad. I'd wake up the next day. I'd always feel, fine. Everything went away. And then I would take it at lunch, and then I would take it. By lunch, I was already feeling bloated, super bloated. I take these, and then by dinner, I'm taking them again, and I'm feeling really bloated. Like I can't even go eat hardly, and I might even be hungry. So that this just isn't working for me. I can't do this to try and gain, maybe some health benefits that I'm probably getting from the foods that I eat anyway and the exercises. Is there any additional benefits from taking these that I'm missing out on? No, there's not. And actually, what I was planning on doing was doing away with my supplements that I take regular, like my omegas, according to the Dr. Saldano and the other doctor. I think his name is Dr. Scott. You can get everything you need just from meats. And I can tell you right now, like maybe if I ate liver, I just don't have access to liver, but if I ate liver, that'd be fine. It wouldn't make me feel so bloated. But taking these capsules, there was no way that I am going to go through every day feeling that bloated. It just does not work for me, especially doing 6 capsules. I think when I was doing 2 to 3 a day, like 1 capsule, that would have been okay. I don't remember feeling too bloated or any, bad side effects. But the 6 that they recommend, absolutely not. And this is the end of it for me. So I was going to try it out, give it a trial, and then I was going to start it, and then I was going to get some results, like, hey, this is how I felt. I actually stopped using all these supplements. Now, these supplements I take because I have done a tremendous amount of research on anxiety, and something I've looked into over the years and years that I've known, and I've really opened up, and I've felt like I've acknowledged myself. You got some anxiety issues. Now anxiety, and I've discussed this in past videos. It comes out in many different forms. I don't think that anxiety just means like you're always sitting in your room timid, you don't want to go outside and you can't socialize, and I think that a lot of people have that misconception. Anxiety just means, a lot of stuff that goes on in your head that you think about that probably isn't necessarily true, just amplifies, and then of course when you come across those instances when it is true, now for some people, anxiety doesn't, like I said, it's not always being timid and it's in your room, and I think a lot of people mistake that, and they might even see you shake a little bit. What they don't know is that you're not nervous, you're angry, there's a rage inside of you, because my anxiety, and I know for most of the people out here it seems like too, and I think this is probably the most common anxiety that just really isn't talked about, is that people just get angry fast. If you get into a discussion with somebody. Have you ever gotten into a discussion with somebody and you kind of debate them a little bit? You know, your view is a little bit different than their view, whether it's politics or religion or just everyday stuff, whatever, you know. And you can see that they get super heated because they don't do well in debates. And it's not that they are intimidated or have a problem or nervous socializing. It's because they're genuinely pissed off on the inside that you are disagreeing with them or trying to shut them down. And that's only where all that they see is not that there's a difference of opinion. What they see is that you're trying to shut them down, that you're trying to belittle them or tell them that they're, whatever it is they're thinking isn't right. And truth be known, the way most Americans are, you probably are actually being that way. You actually are saying it. People are saying stuff like that, you know. And that's why I say, like, when you come across those instances when you actually come across an asshole, you know, that day, that particular day, it just reinforces your beliefs, your whatever's going on in your head, you know, that people are just, you know, try to belittle you. This guy is a problem, this guy's a problem, she's a problem, everybody's a problem. I'm gonna be a problem to everybody, you know. And it just, it's not well for society and for interactions, you know, with people. And it's a hard thing to overcome. And I think that people need to start acknowledging that themselves. And I think it is prevalent in the U.S. I see it everywhere. I see it in myself, and I've known about it for a long time in myself. It took me a long time to kind of pinpoint what was going on. And it seemed like the older I got, the angrier I got. And the angrier I got, the more I tried to keep it in. And the more you try to keep it in, the worse that it gets. It's just a cycle. It just keeps happening, you know, over and over. And one of the things, and I started talking about all this about to refer to my supplements that I take and why I take them. So I'm watching the Joe Rogan program. This is just actually just a few months ago. I started taking all of these, and I'll show you all what I think. I've put them in past videos, what I took and why I take them, and how they help me. But I was listening to Joe Rogan talk about whoever he was talking about. He was talking to somebody, and they were talking about somebody that maybe he's a fighter. Anyway, the anger issues, the redness in the face, the shakes, you know. And Joe mentioned, he said, wow, his cortisol levels were out of whack. You know, he's elevated, is what he said. His cortisol levels were elevated. Cortisol levels are elevated, and that his insulin levels were out of whack. And so I was like, that's me. That sounds like me. That's exactly what they're describing in this guy. And now I hear somebody put like some terminology to it: cortisol and not insulin, but adrenaline levels. Your cortisol levels control your insulin, or I keep saying insulin, I mean adrenaline. Adrenaline and insulin, I think, kind of work with each other. Maybe that's why I keep bringing that up. But because I've researched this so much and read so much on it. But when your adrenaline levels get high and elevated, your cortisol levels are elevated. Your cortisol levels get elevated first. Your cortisol levels are a hormone that controls a hormone that controls a protein that controls the amount of adrenaline. And it all comes down to fight or flight. And that's what you always hear people say. They immediately refer to the flight portion of it. Very rarely do you ever hear, unless somebody does something completely fucking crazy, like take a bat to everybody and everything around them, you know, do you ever hear them actually talk about their adrenaline, cortisol was so wacky, you know, that they were in the fight mode. When truthfully, almost everybody's in that fight mode. Everybody's in a ready to fight mode. You know, it has to be a physical fight. It can be just altercation, words, you know. But I started looking that up, and I found a doctor, and I wished I could remember her name, and I wish I might even find that article. I'll have to look it up and find that article again, do a whole thing on it. So anyway, she talked about how your cortisol levels get out of whack and how this affects your adrenaline levels. So she talked about the different supplements that you're lacking and how to get them back in the right levels, and so that they're regulated. If you begin to regulate your cortisols, you will begin to regulate. That will automatically regulate your adrenaline levels. So she talked about vitamin C a lot. Now why, and she goes into super explanation on what each one does and how it works. Don't remember any of that. I do not remember any of that. And I read all of it, wrote it all down, did some more research behind what she was saying, found out there was more doctors saying it. Vitamins that you need that you might be lacking in. Apparently there's a huge vitamin D deficiency in the U.S. too. So there's also all these other vitamins and minerals that you need that people are mostly deficient in, and I think that's causing a lot of problems with obesity, mental health, just overall disposition, day to day. So, and it's really changed my outlook on life too. And I'll go into that too in here in a little bit, talking about how I perceive people, how I perceive people before and how I perceive people since, and how I perceive situations. Sometimes situations get a little bit more out of control for me, and not really out of control, but more than I get heightened, I get that fight mode going, and that can be good. It can actually be good. It can be beneficial because I can use it to energize myself really fast on the spot and get out and do my work that I need to do and whatever it is, wherever I'm at. But it can also be detrimental because it can ruin relationships, I'm talking about working relationships that I have with people, and I might be a straight up asshole to them, or I might come across as just a spaz, it just depends on what's going on, But anyway, going to what was recommended and what I take. So I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different vitamins to control my cortisol, my adrenaline levels. Starting off with vitamin C every day vitamin C. I have a bottle. I fill up a bottle about halfway, pour this in there, shake it up, and I even take my supplements with my vitamins, not water. So put that in there, right? Vitamin C. Omegas. So I get my omega-3s. And apparently omega is a big player when it comes to adrenaline and cortisol levels. So if you're having some major issues, you just want to get those under control, go to those omegas. Big, huge help. And then the EMs, calcium, magnesium, potassium. I take all 3 of these: calcium, magnesium, potassium. And all beneficial in regulating all of this. And then last, I take another vitamin E supplement here, so I'm getting double the vitamin C in the packet, that's the juice, and then vitamin E is what I top it off with, vitamin E. And even these vitamins have other vitamins within them. If you read up on them, they all have antioxidants. Also, I drink coffee. I drink a lot of just black, straight coffee. I don't put sugar in it. I don't put cream in it. So I'm getting 0 calories out of it, and it's natural, and it's 0 calories. So it helps me. It helps me get through each day. I love coffee. I love drinking coffee. And there's antioxidants in it, and I attribute a lot of my overall health. And when I say health, I'm talking here and now about not getting sick all the time. I don't normally get the flu. And when I was in Kuwait, and we had MEBS over there long before it actually came out, and MEBS is the Middle East. No, was it MEBS? It was MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is basically coronavirus. Back then it was coronavirus 12, I think. Now it's COVID-19. There's been several of them. But we had that, and this is going back to 04, 05. And I even said back then when I was living in Kuwait, I said, man, you just see people get knocked down. We called it the Kuwaiti crud. And I said, man, if this thing ever jumps, and it's bound to, I said, somebody's going to get on a plane sick, and they're going to go over to the States, and they're going to give it to everybody. And that's going to be horrible. It's going to be like a pandemic. And it did happen. This is back in 04 I was talking about this. 05, I was living in Kuwait. And I would just see people get hammered by that. And I never did. I did catch a little bit of it. I was down for it. I actually did call in one day. A lot of people had to call in the whole week. I was down. I went to work. I called in a day, which was, bad on my part for still going to work. But we weren't as savvy back then at that time to pandemics and everything. Later on, after being over there, I went through avian flu, swine flu, MERS, all that while I was overseas, but this is pre-bad pandemics. And I went to work, and there was a lot of people who was getting it, and I got it, but I just took the day off. I felt the worst I got was when I noticed that when I would sneeze, and I sneezed a lot during that period. It was like a 3-day period that I was really bad. I would sneeze so much, your body tenses when you sneeze. Achoo! And you tense up, and achoo! And you tense up. Well, by the end of the day, I was sore, and it hurt to sneeze. Like my whole body ached because of the sneezing. It was awful, and I couldn't really breathe good. But the very next day, I started to feel better, and then even after the day after that, I was fine. I went back to work, and it just kind of passed. It was like 3 days I was hurting. One day I was out, back to normal. After 3, back to work, back to sweating. And I was back out in the sun. I was back out. I was outside, hot, sweating. And I always say that's the best medicine. Get out there, get that sun, get that vitamin D, and get that sweat on. Get all them toxins out of your body, and you'll heal up. So those are the supplements I take. I was planning, if everything what they were saying was supposed to be so good about this protein diet, that I was going to use this and then eventually just stop doing those and see if I still felt the same, because I feel good. I felt good. When I started taking those supplements, I noticed within a week, I would say within 3 to 4 days, I noticed a change in my disposition. I noticed that if I walked by somebody and if I was like, hey, what's up? And they didn't say anything back to me, normally that would set me off. That would put me in a mood. I'd be like, what is wrong with this asshole? Why? Who is he to not talk to me? I'm talking to him. I'm polite, but yeah, I'd be pissed the whole rest of the day just about. But nowadays, being on there, I can walk by somebody and just, hey, what's up? And if they don't say anything back, first thing that goes through my mind now is like, I wonder what's wrong with them. Are they okay? It's not they're doing something purposely to me, by ignoring me, Now it sort of flipped. It's just like, okay, now I know there's something going on with them, And they're probably going through the same things that I go through, different scenarios, basically the same thing, and they might have probably walked by me on several occasions and said something, hey, what's up? How you doing? And I just walked by and didn't say anything to them because I got so much on my mind. I'm so mad about something else, And it really has changed. I noticed within a week of taking those supplements that I was just walking around, I was like, I'm just going to take these till I take the whole bottles and, wherever, maybe I'll feel better. I didn't think I would get anything out of it. I was kind of ready to kind of give up at that point because I had tried other things, and I felt like exercise just was like, what are you supposed to do with exercise? I go out and exercise. Okay, I did, I feel good. But now I'm back at work. I'm back with the assholes. I'm back in this whole area. I don't carry the workout with me into here. How could I feel better from working out throughout the whole day? Because I'm only going to be done with my workout within an hour, hour and a half, and now I'm back here again. So, but I did happen to be walking over I just felt good. I was walking over to the bathroom, maybe coming from the office, past several people, and I just thought, I do feel better. I noticed it. I physically noticed it, and I've never stopped using those. I'm very happy to be using those. And when I go downrange, I don't take them with me, and I haven't had any issues, So I'm not walking around. I don't want to make it seem like I'm walking around all the time mad, ready to take a bat to everybody's head. That's not the case. But I'm just angry a lot inside. I've noticed that. I'm angry more than I think I should be, more than the average person, and stuff that makes me angry when you really stop afterwards and you're thinking, should I be that mad over this? Most of the stuff that I'm thinking about didn't happen. Nobody said anything. I'm just assuming in my mind that everything is bad, that people are being rude to me or mad or belittling me or, maybe, out to get me, and they're not. Now, the bad thing about that is that from time to time, yeah, you're going to come across some assholes out there. They're out there. It's going to happen. And if you don't realize that about yourself, that you're in this frame of mind, then when you do come across people that are like that, then you just kind of reinforces your beliefs. And that's what I was talking about earlier. So, that's helped me to, also these medicines, I mean, these supplements has helped me to cipher those out as well, to either just not care or just know, like, don't want to be around that guy, that dude, maybe they got issues of their own, and they compensate by being total assholes to everybody. It's kind of the way I was being. Maybe sometimes I even think about that. Maybe that person that I see that is an asshole to people was me. That was me, because I was like, just saw everybody's like, y'all, you want to say something? You want to say, okay, I'm going to say something to everybody in this room. I can be an asshole to everybody. I can be a bigger asshole than you. I used to say that all the time. I can, if you want to push my buttons, knock yourself out, but you were going to piss me off. And when you do, you're going to have to deal with it, and I'll be a dick. I'll be a complete asshole, and that would really alert people, like, oh yeah, this guy's angry, and I always felt like it was kind of keeping them at arm's length, but no, I was coming across as a complete jerk. Maybe they weren't at all being assholes to me, or at least they weren't intending to, and I was just kind of preemptively striking, asshole wise, so that could be a bigger asshole, show them that I could be much more aggressive. And now I just feel, so one, I'm getting older too. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be angry all the time. I don't want to be walking around. I don't want people to perceive me as this angry person. I want to feel good. I want to feel positive. This year, and I've said this so many times, as bad as a year as it's been, I have gained so much from this year, so much knowledge. This was the year I started taking these supplements. This is the year that I really helped myself. This is the year that I got into the best shape that I've been in over a decade. This is the year that I found positive energy, and I found out how to put positive energy in me and how to push negative energy out, There's negative energy in there. This negative energy still exists. Hell yes, all the time, all around me, but it's different now. And it's because of, I am taking that exercise, that goal setting that I've talked about, setting those not long goals for the week or for the month or for the year. I'm talking about just day to day, within the day, to do this workout, to complete this workout, to do this task, to complete this task. Go complete it, go complete it, go complete it, go complete it. It's just like the coach used to tell you back when you was young, like if you just always tell yourself you're going to lose this game, you're always going to lose that game. If you tell yourself you're going to strike out to this pitcher, you're always going to strike out to that pitcher. But if you are in a positive frame of mind, if you are setting goals and completing goals, then there's no room for any of that negative energy, and it's amazing. It changed me. It changed the way I see people, the way I perceive people. I walk up, I no longer feel, aggravated by them, and I think that's probably the best term. I got aggravated all the time. They weren't doing anything to aggravate me. I was aggravating myself before they even spoke a word. I was already ready to strike, because I just knew they were going to say something rude or be rude, Half the time, most of the time, they never did. And if they did, I know they didn't mean it. And I know, like you're talking a small amount of the time that I ever come across somebody, hey, what's up? And they didn't say nothing back to me. Had nothing to do. I probably think of just a handful of times in the past several years that actually happened, But anyway, that's my story. So my review of grass-fed beef liver is not good. It doesn't work for me. I felt bloated off of it. I don't think I ever gave it a chance to get into my system. I've only been taking it for maybe a week. I've been taking it since I got back from downrange. It was here finally. It arrived while I was gone. And I got here last Wednesday. I've been taking it since Wednesday. Today's Monday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days, and I can't do it. And this actually is going in the trash, so I'm not even going to worry with trying to take down. I'm not going to come off those supplements at all. I like the supplements that I'm taking. I'm happy that I'm taking them. They're working for me. I don't feel any of the bloatedness. Like right now, I took them at lunch today. today was when I decided, like, this is it, I'm done. And I knew right there, I'm gonna do a review on this thing right now. So I took them at lunch, and I did get the bloatedness feeling, but I didn't take them again after. I didn't do them for dinner, and it's 8:30 now at night here. So skipped the dinner. I ate, but I skipped the dinner. I didn't take those pills. So I went to bed last night, the night before last, like feeling really bloated because, like I said, I was doing 2 pills 3 times a day to get the 6, and I know it's those pills that was making me feel that bloated, you know. And now it's even more apparent because of the fact that I didn't take them tonight, and I did feel bloated after lunch. I felt bloated for a little while. I had some coffee and, you know, sat here and watched some YouTube and did some work, checked some emails, and, you know, it's gone down. I feel better now. So it was definitely those pills, you know. I don't suggest them, and I'm never going to take them again, you know. You might like them, maybe you'll get something out of them, maybe they won't make you feel bloated, but they definitely hurt me. But I'm eating so much meat now, I feel like the protein, the meats that I'm eating, and the supplements that I'm taking, I'm in that good spot, you know. So let me just focus on that. Let me focus on sticking to my plan, my calorie deficit, 6-hour intervals between meals. And I did put on some weight. I wanted to talk about that real quick too. So you know how I always said in the other videos, I would lag behind, you know, like if I started losing weight, you know, and then I wanted to stop. So I'm losing. Okay, now I'm ready to stop, you know. Well, I'm still losing, you know, and this thing I'd stop, like, this is the food, this is my calorie intake, and this is me, right? So I'm losing. Okay, now I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna eat some food, you know, try and keep myself at this weight. This is the weight I wanna be at. But no, I keep losing. I can't stop it. And it's sort of like it comes down and you still lose weight. Nah, you finally kind of come back a little bit. And it's the same going up too. So like if you're down, you're trying to gain weight, and then you stop, you'll keep gaining weight. So since I've been back, I've been eating right, really right. And I ate right down range too, but I ate a little bit more, and I ate, you know, pretty good. And there was some cheat nights there too. You know, I was down there for over 30 days. But I got back here, so now I'm full mode back into my workout. I never did stop working out down there, but my workouts weren't quite as much as they are here. They're more intense here, definitely more intense. You know, still doing the 1.5 hour, sometimes 2-hour workouts. I did do an hour run while I was down range just to get that calorie burn in real good, you know, for that week. But did run every day, did do cardio every day. And some days it was just mostly cardio and calisthenics. Didn't really get to do too much weights. The gyms are smaller downrange, and they're more packed. It's sometimes hard to get in there. And then when you do get in there, you know, it's not a lot of equipment to work out on, so you kind of don't really get the full extent of the full workout. So you just kind of maintain. So, but I was drinking a lot more and doing less aggressive workouts. So drinking, one, was going to raise my triglycerides. The food I was definitely eating, I was taking in a lot more carbs down there. So when your triglycerides are high, any of the carbs that it's not going to use for energy right then get immediately stored to fat. So I get back here, and I was actually trying to gain weight. Everybody knows I was below what I needed to be, and I wanted to get up to around 180. So now I've gotten at 177, 179. I kind of maintained that while I was here. Now I'm doing intense workouts. So my workouts here are much more intense. And the food that I'm eating, better quality, at least as far as, like, you know, what I want to eat, you know, the meats with lower calories. I've taken the sugars and the carbs almost completely out. Very few carbs, very few sugar, well within my daily value, you know, without overdoing it. But anyway, I've gained that weight. So I was at 177, 179. Now I'm trying to maintain, and the weight keeps going up. So I've crossed the 180 threshold. I'm at 180 to, I would say 181 to 183, somewhere in between there, depending on what I'm doing that day, whether I've eaten or not. Now I've gone below 180, even just today, because of the way I work out and the calorie deficit I start off on. So I think the heaviest that I reached was at 184, and then I kept doing those hard workouts, calorie deficit, 6-hour intervals, Coming in the next day, the heaviest that I was weighing is about 183. The heaviest that I weighed today was 181. So I've chopped off some of that back down. And I'm not trying to get myself back down to 170. I'm trying to keep myself around this 180 range. So I stopped and it went up a little bit. Now I'm coming down. So now I need to just kind of, it'll bounce. It's sort of like your weight is a float. So like as you're floating up and now you're ready to come down, but your weight follows you. So it's still losing, still gaining. It doesn't stay side. Okay, I'm gonna stop eating. I'm gonna stay at this weight. You're still gonna gain. Okay, I'm gonna eat more, put some weight on. You're still gonna lose. You just got to give it those few days. So, and I think that I did peak. So I hit that 184. Didn't go above that. Now I'm down around 180. So now I'm really like trying to pump these brakes and stop it before I go below 180 again. I'm gonna try to keep it right at 180, a lean 180. So this be like a new era, because last time I was coming down off of 200 plus. Even at my best, I was like 195, 190. So, and then I finally started losing that weight and started getting into better shape. So now, 180, 184. And I'll be on these workouts, on this diet, and I know so much more because as time goes on, I learn more, I experience more, I see more results, I see the different results, so I know what to do, and I'm getting better at it. And I think it's really only a matter of time before I really get to the point where I want to be, where I have very low body fat, with the right exercise, the right diet, and energy, positivity through the roof, taking the right supplements, and I'm just going to stick to that. And like, I don't have a problem not caving into the diets or the sugars and the desserts. I'm staying off of all those. Haven't had any of that since I've been back. Haven't even been drinking sweet tea. I've even laid off the sweet tea. Now that's hard to do. I'm a Texan. I got to have my sweet tea. But I've stopped doing that. I will reward myself one of these weekends with a sweet tea for lunch. I don't know when, but at some point I will. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, just wanted to give my review on grass-fed livers. I'm not liking those supplements. I'm going to stick with the supplements that I got. I gave it a week and just didn't feel right. I didn't feel right. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Stay healthy, stay positive, stay fit. Road Contractor out.